Hi everybody, my name is Aníbal Azevedo and this is the third class about the first track of doing a simulation optimization and artificial intelligence technique to to create a method that will be employed to solve some supply chain logistics, specifically some operational problems in ports. So let's start coding again. And I here have already opened Google Collab. If you didn't see the previously class, I would recommend this, and a card will appear somewhere here. Okay, so now we have this Google Collab. I in the previous class, I teach about how you can open this environment, and it's totally free, no charge, no propaganda, and you can use Python commands using just your account in Gmail, okay? And this is a kind of Google Docs. So what I'm gonna explain here, I'm trying to draw some rectangles representing the container ship space. So to do this, I will employ another different technique using Heatmap. So I will need the a library here, and the name of this library is Plotly, and Plotly has an important command that I will use, figure underscore factory. So I will not use this big name. I will use a short name as FF. So every time I need this long command, I will use a short name here, FF, and what I will do, I will represent a specific bay of a container ship using a list of lists. So how this is gonna be done, I will use, for example, a variable called z, and this z variable will be a list. And inside this list, I will need another list. So I will have many lists. For example, I will have this first list with values separated using commas. Okay, so I'm writing here the values. I could use integer numbers, or decimal numbers. I could use integer numbers. Okay, and these integer numbers will be employed also to define the color of each square in the plot, in the figure. Okay, so I have the first list here. Okay, and these numbers also represent the intensity of the color that I will employ in the for the squares, to plot the squares. Okay, so now I can also have integer number here. Here I have 80.8 dot 6 dot 4. It's another list. Okay, so each list will represent a line, a different line, as you will see when we perform the plot. And zero, we have zero. So values should be in this range, okay, from 0 to 1. And finally, because they represent the intensity of color, and a 9.8.4. This is the fourth list that I have inside the biggest list here. And finally, I have another list here, the last list, and we will apply the commands to plot all these values, okay? So I have a list of lists at this moment for the variable z, and finally, I could start to draw the figure. How I can draw this figure? Using Heatmap, a command that uses a heat map. So I can use create annotated annotated heatmap heatmap Z. So this command will use the numbers inside each list. These numbers represents also the intensity of the color that I will use to plot. So they will use a kind of heat map to plot a large square. Inside this large square, we will have smallest small squares, and each square will have a different color. Let's see some of this using figure dot show. Okay, so I will click here in this play button. I'm connecting to the Google sites, starting the program. The commands are reading. The program is executing. Now I get this very beautiful figure. And as you can see here, we also have the color, the different color, and for each color, I have the number that is related with this color. So the maximum intensity, the maximum light we have with number 1, and the lowest number is which is 0 is the bottom of the scale of a heat map. If you use, for example, number 2 here, let's see what happens when we put number 2 here. As you can see here, the maximum intensity now is 2, and will be adjusted accordingly. And so if your maximum value is 2, we will have the lightest color in this heat map scale. So if you are understand that integer numbers are better for your application, you can use integer numbers here. You don't need to use just decimal numbers. So I can change everything here. And now maximum number here, it's not just number 1, it's just number 8. And they will change, the program will change the colors here accordingly to represent this maximum value in scale. So imagine now that we have these values here, and the heat map we're gonna be this. So the maximum value is yellow, is 9, and the lowest value is 0. So they use a heat map here. You can use this interesting way to plot, for example, to represent a container ship. So I just finished this another technique to plot a big square with inside this big square we have small squares and with colors and numbers. This is a very fast way to plot a figure, and it's an interesting way also that we have to plot the container ship. So if you like it, if you find this video interesting, please leave me a OK button or give me some commentaries in the video. Also, in the description of this video, we have all this code, so you can find this code, and you can click on the link to find the code, the right code, and to avoid a lot of, or a long work to copy everything. I hope you find this very good, and for the next video, I promise you I will find another way to use this heat map. We can define the colors that we can use, the scale that we can use for the heat map. That's it. Thank you, and I am waiting you in the next video. Bye.